Hey there, this is Real Talk Baseball. I'm Carlos Baseball. With me as always is Will Power. Oh man, it's been a long time since we haven't got on, and there's been trades. There's been a lot of things going on. I visited a couple of stadiums. Will has gone to Philadelphia and visited that stadium. So it's been kind of hectic out here, but we're gonna get through this show today, and we're gonna deliver it as best as we can. I'm live on TikTok. If you guys want to see TikTok, and maybe we'll probably get on Instagram. I'm trying to push them to get on there. How's it going, Will?
It's going. Very busy week, but it's actually been a very busy month, which is why we haven't really been on the podcast in a while. It's just vacations and then stadium visits, and I got some construction going on in my house right now, so everything's kind of just all over the place.
Yeah.
Eventually, I'm going to be moving my podcast studio into the shed in the back, so it's going to be all renovated. It's going to be like a livable area with air conditioning, couches. It's going to be super nice, man. I can finally move all my equipment out of my son's bedroom and actually get my own space.
Dude, are you gonna be able to like set it up like how you want, or are you gonna have
Oh
to
yeah,
have
dude.
someone?
Like the wife and I already talked. Like I get to do like whatever decorations in there. I can do whatever I want.
Sounds good.
I was actually thinking about doing like getting like some fencing and putting that
Hmm.
behind me and making like a dugout for a background, like a legit
Oh, that's
dugout for a
dope.
background.
That's dope. What color are you gonna do? A Dodger, or are you gonna do the green one like Fenway?
I
Because
don't
I know
know
you're on
if
the East Coast, so they'll probably sell East Coast stuff, not
yeah,
Dodger
most
Stadium.
likely. I
You
don't
know?
know. I don't know if I want to do any like specific dugout really. I'll probably just get like a tapestry of like like the background of a dugout, but
Yeah.
I'll actually have like the fencing behind me with like a bench, a bar bench.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Dude, since the trades happened, I know we were texting back and forward, and there was some things that we were saying, and we're like, if you don't know who we root for, we're Dodger fans, and we were actually talking about who the Dodgers should get, and I think we should get into that, Will, before we get into the topics and everything. I know we have the trades and everything for fantasy baseball. I just, we were texting, and we were saying, do you want to say what we were texting about? Because I think you were the one that was kind of, a little bit upset about what was going on.
Well, I wouldn't say upset. I just like to stir shit up, you
Yeah,
know.
I
Um,
know you do.
it makes life fun, you can't be boring all the time.
No,
But
of course not.
I mean, basically, we were talking about the Soto trade that it
The
was
Soto
between
trade, yeah.
three different teams, Dodgers being one of them, Padres being the other.
Yes.
And in past years, they've talked about Max Scherzer possibly going to the Padres or the Dodgers, and then
Uh-huh.
the Padres were about to finalize a deal with him, and then it fell through, and then the Dodgers ended up getting him instead, plus Trey Turner. Dodgers got Mookie Betts a few years ago, along with David Price. So
Yeah.
Dodgers have gotten the long end of the stick on the trades in the past few years, and this year I was just really surprised. I feel like they dropped the ball a lot.
You think so?
Losing Bueller, that's a huge hit, and if you can't go after a good, a high caliber starting pitcher to
Okay.
replace what Bueller could possibly have done in the postseason, then replace it with a good offensive player, like a Juan Soto. And I know
Oh
you
man.
guys were saying like you would basically have to deplete like your farm system to get a guy like Juan Soto, which is what the
Yeah.
Padres did. The
Uh-huh.
Padres have to be in win now mode this year, next year, because they have him until the end of the 2023 season.
Of
And then who
course.
knows where he's going to be after that. I highly doubt that he's going to sign an extension with the Padres. If he didn't sign an extension with the Nationals for 425 million,
Yeah.
he's going to want to test the market. He's going to want to go out there and perform like Juan Soto has been for the past few seasons. This year he's underperforming. I don't know what it is with him. He's only batting about 240.
Wait. Before you go into the stats, let me throw in my 2 cents so I can defend my side. I
All right,
want to
go
defend
for it.
my
Go
side.
for it.
So the reason why I feel like the Dodgers should have not got Soto, because it was going to deplete our minor league system, which you're saying they're in a win now mode, right? I agree. I completely agree with that. But I'm happy they didn't get Soto. We didn't need an outfielder. Like I know Bellinger's not performing like he needs to perform, but he is doing great out in the outfield, which I feel like that's one of the big things that he got going for him. I don't see any other outfielder out there that can, you know, go around the field like he does. Now, second, with Soto not coming to the Dodgers, the Dodgers have way more talent than what the Padres do. It's great for baseball that the Padres did get Soto. Why? Because that's a low market team. You know, think about it. The Padres have Soto, and when Tatis come back, it's gonna be a huge thing. Machado, you got Jerickson Profar. You have a great lineup out there. Yeah. I heard Soto say, good luck to the opposing pitchers, right? It's a great comment to say because it's going to start a feud. It's going to start something really good for baseball fans and baseball, like in general. We're trying to grow the game, right? We're not trying to be the sole team out there. You know, like the Dodgers have been the only team getting the big players out there. So I'm kind of happy he went to the Braves. I mean, not to the Braves, to the Padres, and I'm happy that they didn't go after him like they say they were going to push and try to get him. So I'm really happy that the Dodgers didn't do what they said they were going to do, and the Padres did go ahead and get him because you don't know if he's going to sign with the Padres in 2023. You just said it. I don't think he's going to sign after that. I think he's going to go and test the market, and I don't think the Padres would have the money for that. But this trade right now helps the baseball because it's going to, like this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you're going to have a 3-game weekend where everybody's going to probably be glued to that series because
I'm off this weekend, so I get to watch all 3 games.
Exactly. So the Dodgers are going to be playing the Padres, and you know it might start that rivalry that they once want. You know, our little brothers are still our brothers, right? They're still little brothers. You know, so Tatis is not in the lineup yet, so we won't see the potential Padres yet. But it's great for the game. I think it's really great for the game.
So with this Soto trade, it increases Soto's value.
Yeah,
definitely fantasy wise. But the Padres themselves, they made so many moves. They're shaking things up. There's not going to be any team chemistry, not in the beginning. And it's really hard for a team like that to add so many different players and perform well as a team right off the bat. You know, we've seen that before with starting pitchers and position players. They get signed by a new team in the offseason, and then they go and they play with this team, and they don't perform well. Francisco Lindor comes to mind. Eric Hosmer comes to mind. You know, in the final season with their previous team, they were amazing, and then they go to this other team, this new team, and it's just they're not comfortable. They're not comfortable in their own shoes. When they go to they've I'm sure they still feel like they're in a visiting ballpark. They're not in their home ballpark, you know.
Not yet, unless they really like feel like you know,
camaraderie.
You
know, it's different when there's a free agent signing and you spend the whole spring training with these guys. You get to know these guys, you get comfortable with these guys, you see each other naked in the showers, you know.
What, really?
That's what I'd be looking forward to.
Yeah, well, he's not the only one that got traded to the Nationals, though. You got to think about Josh Bell, and then you will talk about the other trades. But first, let's go into the fantasy baseball part of it. All these trades that happen, is it good for the player, and is it good for fantasy owners out there? Because I know I have a few players that have been traded to better teams. They were in worse teams, like let's say the Reds. You know, you have the Reds that got rid of players that are going to better teams, and it's going to help your fantasy team, like I think by a lot, because now they're competing to go into the playoffs and going into like winning their division or the wild card or whatever. Remember, the wild card and the playoffs is going to be a different bracket this year, as it wasn't, you know, I think it was the pandemic one, right? Where they play a 3-game series,
but it's not the same. So like the wild card this year, it's going to be a series rather than a 1-game playoff. So that's something new.
And the two top teams, they're off, right?
Correct. They get a bye.
Okay. So there's 6 teams making it from each division, from each league, making it into the playoffs. So That's a more expanded playoff bracket than it's ever been compared to I mean, what everybody calls the Mickey Mouse World Series. They didn't even play at Disneyland. I don't know what they're talking about. Basketball was played in Disneyland. Remember, it was in that little bubble that they had. So I think they have the wrong sport. Whatever.
I don't
Let's
watch
get into it.
basketball.
Yeah, let's get into it, man. I'll go ahead and put the slide up, and we'll go through the trades in here. And the first one we're gonna go through is the Yankees and Bader and Benintendi. Man, that's a huge trade for fantasy owners if you own these guys, right?
Yeah, definitely. Well, for Bader, not really so much because the Cardinals already had a really good lineup, and him hitting in the top of the order in that lineup, going over to Yankee Stadium, it's not that big of an upgrade for him. Maybe in the power department because the Yankee Stadium is kind of like a little league ballpark because of the short fence.
Yeah,
Um, for Benintendi, it's definitely a big upgrade. When we saw him in Boston, his value was decently high, and then he gets traded to Kansas City, and Kansas City's lineup isn't the greatest. So it's nice to see him in pinstripes. Hitting leadoff sometimes. It's between him and DJ LeMahieu, but if he's not hitting leadoff, he's usually in the middle of the order, around like sometimes 4 or 5, most of the time 5. So I feel like his move to the Yankees um, has definitely increased his value.
yeah,
Pretty good. Bader, I still see Bader as he's good in like 5 outfielder leagues, maybe a few 3 outfielder leagues, 12 teams or more. But like in a 10-team league, he could be like a sleeper hitter for a week if they're playing weaker teams with weak pitching or something like that. But um,
it's not a good.
Benintendi's definitely the one that increased his value a lot on that one.
Cool. Let's move on to the next one. I mean, the Padres. We already talked about the Padres up on Soto, but they also had Drury and Bell. Are those going to be an increase for these players? I mean, I already saw Drury hit a grand slam, so that they're calling themselves the Slam Diegos again, and I can't wait for Slump Diego to pop up because
Yeah.
it might happen this weekend.
With Brandon Drury, he's the type of guy, like I've been following him since he was with the Diamondbacks,
Yeah.
and he's just kind of been he was a top prospect, came up, everyone was big on this guy. Everyone thought that he was going to be a really good starting caliber player, maybe like a top round 5 pick or something like that.
Yeah.
He hasn't really shown that in the past few seasons, and all of a sudden he's really come into his own this season. I personally don't trust him. I think he's just on an extended hot streak. Hopefully for fantasy owners that own this guy, that's not going to be the case. That it does worry me with Drury. I don't think Soto and Bell could really lose that much value. Bell
Yeah.
has always been just like an all or nothing type of hitter where he's hitting home runs or he's striking out. And Soto has just been so bad this year. I mean, not bad, but bad for Soto's standards that
Mm-hmm.
him moving to the Padres, it could do nothing but good for him,
Yeah.
with the type of lineup that he has around him. Because when he was in Washington, I mean, who does he really have around him other than Josh Bell? And even Josh Bell wasn't anything before this past season.
Yeah.
I really can't think of any other Washington Nationals hitter that has been good after the 2018 season when they won the World Series.
Yeah, I just see all these 3 guys stepping up with the Padres because they were electrifying. They even had a long line in San Diego to try to go see the first game of Soto. So, yeah, nothing but good things. We'll see him this weekend. Might go to the game and see what they're all about. So yeah, we'll see what's going on. Let's move on, man. As we got the Phillies on here, we got Marsh, Syndergaard, and Robertson. Syndergaard, that kind of surprised me. I didn't think he was doing all that great, to be honest.
No, his ERA was super inflated as it has been basically his whole career. He had a really good first couple seasons that he was in the majors with the Mets, And after his oblique injury, I want to say that was like 2017 or 2018, something like that. He was just never the same. He's effectively wild, and that can be a good thing when you're a reliever, but when you're trying to go 6 innings, 7 innings, and trying to get the win for your team, effectively wild means that you're going to be throwing past balls, you're going to be throwing fastballs high in the zone that just gets teed off on, and that's basically what he does. There's a lot of times when he's trying to throw a high fastball 3 or 4 inches above the zone, try to get a swing and miss or a foul back, and it ends up being at the top of the zone, and
Crack.
guys just crush it, and
Yeah.
that's a really bad thing to do in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is known as a hitter's ballpark, and when you leave the ball high in the zone like that, especially in the National League East, man, because there's a lot of really good hitters in the National League East.
Yeah.
Some of them are on the Phillies. They're on his team. He'll definitely get some more run support than he did with the Angels, but he's going to be facing his former team, the Mets. He's going to be facing the Braves a lot. The really good hitters in those lineups. So he's a low to mid 4s ERA type of guy with decent strikeouts. He's not the high strikeout pitcher he used to be. I get that they kind of needed like a back end starter, because of injuries and just trades that they've done throughout the years. They lost Pavetta, they lost a couple other guys, and I understand that they needed a starting pitcher, but why Syndergaard? I honestly I don't even see Syndergaard as fantasy relevant in anything less than a 15-team league. I don't think that he should be rostered anywhere in a 12-team league. Yeah, I regular baseball wise, I understand the move, but fantasy baseball wise, I don't think it really increases his value too much, just because he gives us so many long balls.
Well, we'll see once he gets that first start, because you usually have a good change of mind once you see him pitch. Is in the new stadium. A lot of players need a new change of scenery, and we'll get into it a little bit deeper into how we look at the trades, because I know there's other players here that we're just like, what? Why did that happen? But we'll talk about it more as we
even
get
the
deeper.
Yankees trades, I didn't understand that, because they have some really good outfilders. I mean, I understand maybe going after Bader or Benintendi. Either one of them have solid defense and decent bats, but why both of them? That they're
testing water. They're pretty much
stacked. And
they're pretty much
right
testing
now. Maybe it was to protect Aaron Judge, because Aaron Judge plays the outfield. He's a center fielder, right fielder. So having Bader take over center field allows Judge to DH more often. So that makes sense. But getting 2 outfielders, I don't understand that unless they're planning to platoon. And if they do plan to platoon, then that means that the value of Benintendi and Bader actually goes down, because they're not going to be playing every day.
Exactly.
But what's going to happen when Stanton comes back off the IL? He's on the IL right now, but
see, that's the problem I have with fantasy baseball right now, with all these players going in the IL, because it's August, it's the dog days of baseball, and these are the days that you're like, oh man, I want these players to play. But this is where you go like, you know what, my ankle hurt, and this is where the coach goes like, all right, well, let's put him on the 10-day IL, because we don't want to jeopardize anything. But as a fantasy owner, you're like, why are you doing that? I need this player to perform because I need those points. And, as a fantasy owner right now, I'm going through that. I had 7 players in my IL that I couldn't put out there. So it sucks.
Right now?
Not right now, when I was playing you. So I made it super close. I tried to do whatever I could.
And you left Kenley Jansen on the bench one day, and he ended up getting 7 points that day.
I did.
I didn't say anything, What?
Of course you can't. You can't say anything. You can't say anything. But that's the thing. Like Mike Trout was out. I have Mike Trout. He's battling that back injury. I had other players that I really need.
Beginning, man, don't draft Mike Trout.
Yeah,
he's an amazing player when he's healthy, but he's never healthy.
Yeah, I think the
Something
Angels should have
always comes
traded him
up.
away before they found out the results. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's another topic for another day. Let's keep moving, man. Let's go into the Braves. They got Ordasi and I don't know, Razel
Odorizzi.
Iglesias. Yeah, Odorizzi.
Yeah, I think the move from Houston to
Odorizzi. Yeah, sorry, it's just my fans in the way. I'm like, oh yeah, that is Odorizzi. Go
yeah,
ahead.
I don't think the move from Houston to Atlanta really increased his value at all. Um,
You think it got worse because he's going into a better division?
no,
No.
I think that it possibly have gotten a little worse because Atlanta, it's easier to hit home runs than it is in Houston. Houston has that real big outfield, so it's
Except to
kind
left
of
field, I think I can hit a pop up and hit it out.
in what
In
in
left field
Houston.
and not Houston. Yeah,
Oh,
that
in
little
left field, yes,
that's a little fence. That's a
yeah,
I mean
but
it's a tall fence,
anything
but
that's
it's not
hit
that long.
anything that's not hit to left field, it's usually a lot of doubles and triples. It's kind of similar to, sorry, kind of
Go ahead.
similar to like San Francisco, where triples alley. Um, Houston just has that big wall in center field, and that's where a lot of balls get hit. So yeah, it's not going to get caught. It's going to get hit off the wall, but you're limiting to doubles and triples rather than home runs.
Yeah.
So I think it might be a little bit of a downgrade for him, but he's not the type of guy that you would have as a fixture in your lineup anyway. I see him more as a streamer. Um, you know,
Okay.
uh, unless you're in a deeper league, but any shallow leagues that 12 teams or less, I see him more as a streamer.
Gotcha. All right, let's move on to the Astros. Will Smith. So I guess that was a trade. The Astros and the Braves. They did. One before we start about talk about Will Smith. There's another trade that's not on here that the Padres made before the deadline, and that was to get Hader. And
Oh, that's right.
yeah, Hader and from the Brewers to the Padres, and who was it? The guy that got traded from the Padres to the Brewers. I can't remember his name. Um,
Um,
he was a second leader in saves.
was that
So
Luke Voigt? Luke Voigt went to.
no, Luke Voigt went to the Nationals.
Oh,
This
that's
is
right.
this is the closer for the Padres. So I'm blanked. I just wanted to bring it out though. To me, that trade didn't make any sense for the Brewers. You're getting rid of the number one saves leader to get the number two saves leader, and then you don't get the big player that you needed for you in the Brewers. Now, what does that mean in terms of saving games as Hader is going to the Padres? There's a lot more chances for him to get saves, right?
Yes, the Padres definitely have
They're winners on that
the
one.
better team. Their win record is better than the Brewers, but Hader just hasn't been pitching like himself this season. His ERA is around 4.
I think that was June
Strikeouts.
27th, right? Or June 27th was the point where his ERA started climbing up, where he had like a 9 point something ERA, I want to say. So when the season started, he did good, but that point where he reached, I think I don't know if I got the date right, but there's a date that he started his ERA started increasing. I don't know if he wanted out of there. I don't know if he was just like, I'm not happy. He got traded to the Padres, and now he got his first save 2 days ago. So, I mean, it should help him get whoever has him out there is going to help you get points.
Yeah.
So,
He's always
but
been
like
a
I
high
said,
strikeout pitcher, which is great. So that aspect of his value isn't going to change. He does increase his value just a little bit just because of more save opportunities.
yeah,
As long as he doesn't mess it up, because he's blown a lot of saves this year with his 4.01 ERA.
dang, it's inflated. All right, man,
Yeah,
let's go into the Astros.
that's so high for a closer. He does have 29 saves this season, and that's only 6 less than he had in 2021. So he's definitely going to pass his saves total for 2022. That'll help in a lot of roto leagues that where you count the complete number of saves throughout the season. And it'll help a little bit for the rest of the season this year also.
Gotcha. Jasper, just saying this thing on. Yes, it is. We're live.
What's up,
We're
Jasper?
live. We're live from Pennsylvania and California, man. So yeah, we're here. So ask away, man. Ask whatever you want to ask. We'll go ahead and try to get those answers for you.
I
Yeah,
have a
dude.
question for Jasper. Why you declined my trade, man? That was a good trade.
No, it wasn't. Don't trade him. Leave him alone. He's not winning this year.
Hey,
Anyway,
after this week, I'm about to be in second place, man. I'm knocking you down.
yeah, that's because of my play. I told you my players are in the IL. They're over there resting. They better hurry up and get back to it because that's not cool. All right,
I
let's
don't
go
know,
into
man. The
Will
way it
Smith.
is right now, I got 800 more points total than you right now.
That has nothing to do with it. It's the
That's a
wins and
lot.
losses.
That's a
Wins and
lot.
losses. If I win, I'll still be in second. Anyway, let's go into Will Smith, man. Will Smith to the Astros. Does that increase his value? I mean, I think
Yes,
it was the
that
same.
increases his
Really?
value a lot.
You think so?
Yes, I think so because Kenley Jansen has been the closer for the Braves this season. So, Will Smith, he's kind of dabbled in the closer role for the past couple seasons with the Braves, but he was never like the closer. They never really named him like the closer, So, going to the Astros, I think he is going to be the closer over there.
Yeah.
So it's going to help his value a lot. A lot of save opportunities, in leagues that count saves separately from holds, it increases his value a lot.
Gotcha. Let's go to the Twins. Mally, man, I think that was a really good trade from the Reds to the Twins. I think was he? I saw that he's not picked up in a lot of leagues. So I think he still has a. Let me look him up right now since I have him on my team and he's supposed to pitch today. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, he's 79% owned on Yahoo. So that means that he's probably like 70 or 75 on ESPN. So I think, to be honest, that's a really good trade for the Twins. And if you're a fantasy owner and he's out there, because like I said, he's only 79%, you still have that 20% chance you might be able to get this guy. He's been pitching pretty well. He's getting you that 10 to 15 points. It's not the greatest points, but he's getting you those points. And if you're using them as a streamer, why not, right?
Yeah, now that he's on a team with not the greatest lineup, but
or a purpose with a
definitely
purpose,
an upgrade.
Yeah,
he's going to get some more wins. He's like you said, he's been pitching well. The first month of the season, first month and a half, he was kind of all around. He was up and down, but he's kind of finally like fallen into his own. And I think the move to the Twins from Mally is actually going to be really good for him.
Yeah, man. I think that's going to help him, maybe
especially
even win
because
the
of
division.
the teams that he's going to be playing. The American League Central is just it's full of mediocre lineups with a few stars kind of here and there.
Yeah, no. Well, that's a good one. Let's move on to the Cardinals. The Cardinals have Montgomery. You want to shine some light on this one and talk about Montgomery to the Cardinals? Because I mean, the Cardinals are in first, right? They're in first place. Wait, are they in first place? Let me take a look.
They have the first wild card spot. So
the wild card spot.
Yeah, National League Central.
They're tied for first.
Oh,
with
really?
Milwaukee. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, cool. Montgomery to the Cardinals. Is that, like, if you own him, is that a good trade?
I actually think it's a downgrade for him. It's good for Cardinals fans. They get a good, starting pitcher. But the Cardinals aren't going to have as many wins as the Yankees did. He's not going to have the run support like he did in the Bronx. So I feel like his value has decreased a little bit. Not too much to really be worried about it. Like, I wouldn't drop him or anything,
Gotcha. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to the Red Sox, man. The Red Sox got Hosmer. And
your boy,
Yeah.
You've been hanging on to since the beginning, man.
I've been hanging on to this guy because he got off to a really good start. He was batting at, I think, the highest batting average that he got since, I guess we don't look at batting average anymore, but 343. It was one of the highest batting average. They were even talking MVP season for him at some point in that season. But to be honest, like, he was one of the guys, main pieces going to the Nationals, and he held up that trade for a little bit. And everybody was like, let's hope that Hosmer holds up that
Nationals.
trade.
You mean the Padres?
The Padres, yeah, my bad. No, because he didn't want to go to the Nationals.
Oh, I see
Yeah,
what you mean.
so he didn't want to go to the Nationals. So then he had that power to say, I don't want to get traded to the
Yeah,
Nationals.
apparently in his contract, he had 11 teams that he had a no trade clause with, and the Nationals are actually one of them for some reason or another. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and since we're in LA, Will's in Pennsylvania, he's still a Dodger fan. He heard the news and it was like, wait, this man holds the power to say, I do not want to get traded, and then the trade would have gone to shit, you know. But it didn't. He got traded to the Red Sox, which the Red Sox, we don't even know what they're doing. Are they still pushing for the playoffs, or what the hell are they doing? To be honest, I really don't know. They're close to the wild card, but they got rid of some players, you know. So they got
Yeah,
rid of their catcher to the Astros, which is not on here actually. So they were playing the Astros last week, and this is before the trading deadline. So this is all the list that we have here is trading deadline trades. Before those, if we would have had to show it, I'm pretty sure we would have been talking about them. But I don't know what's going on with the Red Sox. For me, Hosmer going to the Red Sox is a change of scenery because he's probably been hearing he's going to be traded like what 2 years, 2 seasons already. He's been hearing that he's going to get traded and that the Padres don't want him, and then that
I don't
plays a toll
understand
on
why
you.
the Red Sox wanted him. Like, what's the point?
Well,
Yeah,
the Padres are going to take like more than half of the salary, dude. So why not?
I understand why the Padres are getting rid of him. You know,
Yeah.
a salary dump, but I don't understand why the Red Sox would even flirt with the idea of acquiring Hosmer.
Yeah.
He's not anything great. You know, they have Bobby Dahlbeck. Bobby Dahlbeck is nothing great either. You know, he's batting like what 220 with some decent pop, and then
Mm-hmm.
they also have Tristan Casas coming up to be their starting first baseman. But so I don't know, man. That was kind of weird. I think Bobby Dahlbeck can also play third base, so maybe they're planning on moving him over to third. But Devers just got back, so it doesn't really make any sense. I really didn't understand this trade and what the Red Sox are thinking there. Hosmer's value has just lowered exponentially. He's not going to play every day. I honestly, I don't think that he should really be rostered in any leagues right now.
Yeah, I mean, I have him rostered because he's still getting me points. So he got 10 points today. So if you're listening to this and you can either agree with Will or disagree with Will and agree with me, go pick him up. I think it's going to help out. He's going to help out a little bit, not the whole season like I've been holding on to him. I should have traded him when I had the chance.
Yeah, you should have. I
Yeah,
told
I
you
should
to trade him.
All right, let's move on, man. Let's go into the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays got Merrifield. Is that a good trade?
That's huge. The Blue Jays have one of the best lineups in all of baseball. So many guys surrounding Merrifield that he can get a lot of runs. He was the hits leader. I want to say like the past like 3 seasons in a row in the American League, and now being on a team where they're actually gonna knock him in a lot more, score a lot of runs, and a lot more RBIs. I think Merrifield's value just went up a lot. I think this is the guy that actually wins the most fantasy wise with this change of scenery for him. He's always been like a category specialist because he steals so many bases and he gets a lot of hits. He relies on batting average to really produce in points leagues, and everyone knows that batting average is so fluky, hot streaks and cold streaks. But I think it's great for him, and I'm really glad that I have him on my team. I actually tried to trade him earlier in the season for Jazz Chisholm, a couple other guys, and I'm really glad I didn't because Jazz Chisholm is probably going to be out for the season.
Yep.
And now Merrifield's, with his value going up and our playoffs start in 2 weeks, this is perfect timing for me.
I got a question. Did this man get vaccinated?
He did.
Oh, okay.
He actually got vaccinated the day after the trade,
Okay.
and he started today for Toronto. Today was his first day that he was part of the lineup.
All right. Well, I got some important news, and this is some really, really like crazy news because if for those of you that don't know, we have a fantasy league of our own, and we've been doing this probably like 6, 7 years. I just don't recall the name, the number, but Tony always makes it to the playoffs, and it looks like this year he's out of there. He's not even like close to making. Not even a
And
miracle will save his team. So
no,
it's just like I what is it breaking news, I guess, right?
basically.
Yeah, it's crazy because
And
he's
and
this.
honestly, man, and Tony drafted well. You know,
Yeah.
his team was solid, and he just got so trade crazy. He was trading every single week, you know, and he shook up his team way too much. And if he would have just left it the way it was, maybe do a couple trades kind of here and there, I think he would have been fine. But he was just
I
this
think
guy loves to trade.
yeah.
Sometimes it works out for you, and sometimes it doesn't.
I,
And this year, I think the obsession with trades just kind of got the best of him, and now he's screwed himself out of a playoff push. And I'm not gonna say that I'm not happy about it. You know,
no, of course not, because you like having the
I
a
like talking shit,
competitive guy.
and
Yeah.
I'm glad he's not in the plaplayoffs, so that way I can be like, bro, you didn't even make playoffs last year. Like
Exactly. So you have
you're
nothing to
irrelevant.
say. Oh, yeah, it is breaking news, Tony. I know you're listening. Why don't you just hop on, man? Stop being scared and just hop on. All right, the last one, man, and the last one on here is on the Dodgers, and this trade for a lot of people didn't make sense. Joey Gallo from the Yankees to the Dodgers. He got his first hit yesterday with his first game. Any value to this guy? This guy, I know it's not owned anywhere because this guy strikes out more than anything. I think Aaron Judge has what 36 or 38. He had 38 home runs at the point where Joey Gallo only had 36 hits in the season, which it's really pathetic for this man. And maybe the change of scenery for this guy might help, but you have to sit and wait to see what this man is going to be used for because I don't see him being used a lot. Maybe DH or a spot start or something like that. I just don't see this man in fantasy baseball, to be honest. Like
You
I don't know
know,
what you think.
I was looking at his splits. I was looking at, okay, he's a right-handed bat, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, so I was looking at, okay, maybe he's just a lefty specialist and he'll start on days when he's facing lefties. And when I looked at his splits, I saw the righties. He's batting only like 150 against righties, but he's only batting 178 against lefties.
Yeah.
His batting average is under the Mendoza line, and he doesn't have a lot of pop this season. I don't get it. I think I don't understand the Dodgers' logic in this Joey Gallo trade. I think that maybe they they did the trade thinking that they could pull something else off before the deadline and use him as like a trading chip to sweeten some kind of deal, you know. But too little, too late. I think that he's going to be a guy that's probably going to start a few games for the Dodgers, but then
Mhm.
it's more going to be like a pitch hitter in the eighth or ninth inning when they need, a right-handed bat up there. Someone that can at least put the bat on the ball and hit it hard somewhere because he does hit the ball extremely hard.
Yes, he
He's top
does.
10 in exit velocity. The problem is he's just not putting the bat on the ball enough.
Dude, this guy was a 36 home run hitter last year, and he won a Gold Glove. So it's just like he dropped off. Maybe the pressure in New York didn't help, and then maybe clean shave too. Like a
Yeah.
lot of baseball players are superstitious, man. I'm one of them. I'm a big time superstitious fan. Where if I don't leave the cup where I got it from, or for instance, if I go on the field and try to play baseball and I don't jump on that over that line, I'm gonna have a bad game. So it's just one of those things. And if you're like a fantasy baseball owner and you probably feel like, oh, it's a change of scenery and you want to take a chance with this guy, I mean, you can, but the value is not there because I feel that he's just going to be a spot starter. He's not going to be, like Will said, he's not going to be a starter, an everyday starter, unless one of these guys, and God forbids anybody from the Dodgers get injured. But let's say two of these guys get injured and they need to put him out there, then
Or
maybe.
maybe it could be a platoon. Maybe they're planning on sitting Bellinger against lefties and only playing him against righties, and then Gallo against lefties. Because Bellinger with a left-handed bat and Gallo with a right-handed bat. So that's the only logic I see. But it's like Dodgers already have a crowded outfield, especially with Chris Taylor coming off the IL today. Yeah. Chris Taylor in left, Bellinger in center, Mookie Betts in right, and then you have Outman as like the guy to give a day off once in a while, and Gavin Lux also plays the outfield once in a while. I don't know, the Red Sox and the Dodgers trades this season, it didn't make any sense to me. I saw that the Dodgers also traded away Mitch White, which I didn't understand also, because
that's to clear a little bit of the space for the rookies to come out. So you have Outman.
I get that, but we don't need position player rookies to come up right now. Dodgers need a starter.
Right now is when you need that. You need a fresh blood out there.
Kershaw, who knows how long Kershaw is going to be out? And now
we don't know.
We don't have Dustin May back yet.
But he always gets injured in August. Remember that. He always gets injured in August because we need him in September. Watch him come back in September and dominate again.
I hope so. But I mean,
we gotta stay positive, man. Stay positive.
We lost a guy that was able to go, 5-6 innings every time he came out with a good ERA, decent strikeouts. He's a better ball player than he is a fantasy player. So I think the Dodgers kind of lost on that trade. I get it; they were trying to set themselves up to get some prospects in return. I just don't think that was the way to go, because
you don't think it paid off.
Buehler's out probably for the season, and then you have Dustin May coming back from Tommy John surgery. So who knows how he's going to pitch?
Hey man, don't be a downer. We're Dodger fans. What you talking about? You need to be optimistic.
I'm a realist, man.
Not a realist. That's not a realist. They're all coming back in September. Realist meaning like, okay, the season's done. No, we're 12 and a half games above the Padres right now, and that's why they didn't make the trade for Soto last year. That's why they got Scherzer and Turner, because we were not first place when and we still didn't win the division. We beat them in the playoffs, which is great. You know what? Let me talk about that a little bit. That stadium is nice, man. Well, that toilet I went to is really nice, dude. It's the cleanest toilet that I would ever go to. Seriously, it's really nice. It has Halloween colors and it's all nice and has a huge screen. And it's not Halloween the only stadium. Seriously, I felt like I was in Halloween. I'm like, man, I didn't even dress for the occasion. Anyway, it's not the only stadium I went to. Colorado was really nice as well. It was really hot in Colorado, to be honest. But it's time for Dodgers to have a new stadium, man. That stadium is too old already. I'm just gonna be in one of those type of fans to be like, you know what, it's time to get a new stadium, put it in downtown, and let's just get it. Why not?
I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. They just renovated.
Yeah, they just renovated, but those renovations suck, to be honest. Like, it's not compared to these stadiums. They're just state of the art.
I don't know. You look at ballparks like Fenway and Wrigley, these really old ballparks, and Dodger Stadium's not as old as those, but it's still iconic and classic. And I think the only way that the Dodgers would ever build a new stadium is if something catastrophic happened, some type of earthquake, or if the foundation just wasn't safe anymore or something like that. But you can't get rid of Dodger Stadium.
It's not going to happen. They just put a lot of money into it. Like a lot of people has been telling me, because I've been saying that. I mean, like, come on, man, we need a new stadium. I was one of those guys that said keep Dodger Stadium, but then again, I didn't go to other stadiums and see the Dodgers play. So once I went to other places, like I went to San Diego, Arizona, Colorado, San Francisco, Texas, and all these state-of-the-art
newer ballparks.
Exactly. They're just like off the hook, man. It's really nice.
The Philly Stadium is actually really nice.
I bet. Did you see the screen, though? The screen is huge, right? Exactly. So, like I said, I think it's time for the Dodgers to look into that. And it's not going to be anytime soon. Maybe in 20 years they'll probably think about it, but
Yeah.
not anytime soon. Um, yeah, let's just continue, man. I know Tony over there is laughing and putting, what are you talking about, Tony? Get out of Dodger Stadium. Go to another stadium, man. I think I don't know what other stadium you've gone to, but go. And
You
you
know,
can't say Angel Stadium. Angel Stadium sucks too. They need a new stadium. They need a new stadium.
honestly, I hate going to Dodger Stadium, and the only reason why I hate going to Dodger Stadium is because it's so fucking crowded all the time. I can't move anywhere without touching elbows with the person to my left and the person on my right,
Yeah.
and that's what actually one of the biggest things that I noticed when I first went to Philly Stadium is just I was like, there's no one here, it's like
And
half
they have a chance to
the
make the
amount of
playoffs, right?
people that yeah, I think they're like third in the wild card hunt, so they still got some work to do.
I think yeah, no, I think they're the second because there's two teams tied for the sixth spot. So then the Phillies are 2 games, I believe, or a game behind that. If I'm not mistaken, hopefully I'm not. I think I just saw the standings, so they still have a shot to getting into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've never been to that stadium. I know you have, and you can speak on it, but I can't say that Dodger Stadium is top in the nation and be like I haven't visited any stadiums because I know San Diego is really nice. San Francisco is super nice. I never been to PNC in Pittsburgh
It looks
for the
really
Pirates.
cool,
They
but
say it looks really cool. Exactly. They
I'm
say that's
probably
one
going
of
to
the
go
top
there
ones.
next year when the Dodgers go.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a drive for me. I want to say it's about 6 hours away.
Yeah, but
So,
it looks nice, right? It's the same guy that designed San Diego Petco and I
oh,
believe
really?
San Francisco. So
I really like the bridge in the background. It just looks so cool,
yeah, what
I
are you
actually have a
talking?
lot of dude. You know what we need to do? You need to plan a trip to come over here for like a good like solid like 2 weeks, and we'll just go around to like different ballparks around here. There's a
Well,
there's there's within a
there's a lot of
6 hour
stadiums.
drive. There's at least like 6 different ballparks that we could go to.
Yeah, I'm down to do that because I would like to go to start from the very far. You have the hat back there, the Baltimore
Mhm.
Orioles. We
The
could do that.
Baltimore is actually not that far. I
It's
want to
not
say it's only like an hour and a half,
really. What's the
and then
furthest stadium from you?
probably PNC.
PNC. What is that? 4 or 5 hours?
That's like a little more than 5 hours. I want to say.
Oh, okay, well then you have to. We'll fly out there. Forget
And
it.
then
I'm not.
there's other ballparks that are about the same, like Cincinnati and Cleveland. Those are about a 5 hour drive.
The Cleveland who?
Guardians.
You got stuck for a little bit. Huh? You're like,
I
oh.
did. I did. The ones that are the closest, obviously the Phillies, and then you have the Mets, which is about 2 hours away. Yankee Stadium, which is about 2 hours away.
Mhm.
Baltimore, that's like an hour and a half to 2 hours away.
Okay,
Did I say Boston?
you didn't say
Boston's about
Boston.
3.5 hours away. Um,
Damn, I can knock out a whole bunch of stadiums if I go to the East Coast.
Yeah,
Because
dude.
yeah, it's
Dude, they're all bunched together, And
yeah.
it's like I want to say it starts from like the Yankees at the top and then
Hmm.
the you just keep on going south and you can hit so many different ballparks. If dude, we could easily go on a road trip for like maybe 2 weeks
Uh-huh.
and hit like Yankee Stadium and just do every stadium under that. We wouldn't be able to see the Dodgers,
No, no, no. It doesn't matter as long as you've seen the stadium and all that stuff.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly. That's
matters.
like when I went to Yankee Stadium, I saw the Yankees play the Astros.
Okay. How nice is the Yankee Stadium? Is it?
It's
I mean, I don't
really
know.
freaking nice,
Did you
man.
ever
It's
go to the old one?
small. It is extremely small, because you're in New York City, or the Bronx. I mean, it's just there's too much congestion around there. The stadium, it's a square, very very small, but there's a lot of different shops like all around and then the subway right there, so there's not really like a lot of room to do anything around. There's no parking lot at Yankee Stadium, so you just kind of have to find parking and walk,
Yeah.
or you can take the subway, or you can take the tram or the train.
Gotcha.
There's actually a train that is like 20 minutes away from my house that will take you to Yankee Stadium.
Nice. Well, maybe I need to go out there and do that, man. I need to
Yeah,
do the
man.
East
Bring the
Coast.
wife and kids. They can hang out with, my wife and kids, and
We'll take off
we can go to the ballpark. Yeah.
to the ballpark and check out some.
I
I
mean,
would like to do Fenway.
it's not like your wife doesn't know mine, they're cousins. So
Yeah, we'll just go. We'll just go do Fenway, Yankees, and then do other stadiums for sure, and we'll do our own thing,
sounds
dude.
good to me.
Yeah, dude. To be honest though, like, I just feel like if the Dodgers ever do decide to change, do a stadium, I think they'd be able to do it in downtown where the convention center is at,
That'd be cool.
and yeah, that'll be really cool because you have the metro there, you have all kinds of transportation going through to there where you really don't have to drive out there anymore. So you're gonna have more drunk people. Think about it, more money, more revenue. Yeah, dude.
Oh, but dude, just thinking about that traffic right there, because right by the convention center is where it starts getting congested. It
Yeah.
would just get 100 times worse if Dodger Stadium was right
Oh
there.
yeah, of course, of course. Well, that's not the only news we have. We have bad news too. I mean, our broadcaster, Vince Scully, man. How do you feel about him? I mean, he wasn't already
Yeah.
broadcasting anymore, but knowing that he passed away and everything, it just it brought tears to so many people, and it's not because we knew the guy, but because we heard this man, you
I
know,
mean, we
explain the
basically
game.
did know the guy. It's like
Exactly.
the type of announcer that he was. It's like he was having a conversation with you while he was on the TV.
Yeah.
His words through the TV. It just he was a storyteller.
Well, not TV, but the radio.
And the
The radio.
radio back
Yeah.
in the
That
day. Yeah.
yeah. Like his style of broadcasting came from the 50s. So in the 50s he had no TV, so he had to explain everything while he was like talking. So he was seeing it and he was explaining it, and that was just so amazing how he kept going with that. Right now, the TV and everything, and he still did it. And a lot of people would watch, and I know my dad would do this for sure. He would turn off the volume on the TV and he would turn up the radio to listen either to the Spanish speaking Jaime Jarrin or Vince Scully. And sometimes I would like, wait, you don't know English that well. Why are you listening to Vince Scully? But he would. And that was crazy to me. And the memories I had about that and remember everything is because he would turn on the radio in the garage and he would just leave it on. And for me, I would be in my little bike and rolling by. I wasn't into baseball like I am now, and I would hear that, so it takes me back to it. So, and a
Yeah.
lot of people are saying that that's what brought them back because Vince Scully was the voice of LA, pretty much.
Yeah,
So,
and some people just have that natural like radio voice, and he
yeah,
was definitely one of them.
exactly. He was that redhead kid. I don't know if you saw the picture, redhead, skinny kid when he
Yeah,
first started. It was like, damn, that's crazy. Like
in his
that's
20s.
in his 20s, man. It's crazy how things change and how time makes you look different. But he didn't look that much different. He looked the
No,
same.
it looks
Yeah.
exactly the same, just a little older.
One thing that I didn't understand though is that he was a Giant, and then he became a Dodger broadcaster, and then slowly became a Dodger fan. So, it could happen, Giant fans. If you guys want to jump on the bandwagon, there's free tickets to jump on the bandwagon to the 2022 World Series champs, Dodgers here. So, if you're listening, go ahead and do that. But yeah, it was sad when we heard it. I mean, I shed a tear here and there. Like it hurt because, like I said, it's not that we knew him personally or anything like that. That, oh, hey, how's it going, Vince? But it's just something where nostalgia, I guess. It was nostalgic to
Yeah,
hear his
and
voice.
in
And
any baseball, it's not just Dodger fans. It's baseball fans in general. Any
yeah,
real baseball fans know who Vin Scully is.
yeah, yeah,
He's probably the most famous baseball announcer of all time.
of all time, yeah. And another one that in the Spanish speaking community, like I say, Jaime Jarrin is one of them. And like, dude, I hear his voice and it takes me back to when I was a kid. Like I said, so many dads out there, like hearing the Spanish speaking announcer, he sounded like you. He has these famous quotes too. So he's retiring this year, and I don't know why they're not making a bigger deal than what it is, but he's retiring this year, so it's gonna be hard to not listen to that voice too, because my dad still listens to them. So when I go to the house, sometimes whenever he can move, he turns on the radio and the Jaime Jardín is on, it just boom, instantly. It takes me back when I was a kid, you know. So the good times, the good old days, like everybody says. What's going on with Tony? Angel fans need to jump on. Jump on what, man? We don't need them on here. Dude, I don't know what happened with the Angels last night. 7 home runs and they still lost. What's going on with that? It's like, oh, it must suck to be an Angel fan right now.
And then now they're talking about, oh, they were just kidding. They don't really want to trade Ohtani.
Oh yeah, they were like, we're gonna trade him, and they're like, psych, we're not gonna do it.
They need to trade Ohtani in the off season. I think it's still gonna happen. They're
think
saying
so?
that it's not gonna happen, but it's like look at your season with Ohtani healthy, 100% healthy. He hasn't gone on the IL at all. He's gotten, little bruises, bumps and bruises kind of here and there, but he's been a legit MVP candidate, not even candidate, like the favorite to win this season. And they still can't have a record above 500. It's like, dude, it's time to move on. Get the value. He was cheap when they first got him because no one knows how these international players come over and how they're going to translate to Major League Baseball. This guy translated very well. He's a top caliber pitcher. He's a top caliber hitter. You can't take that away from him. And I don't care about him being on a winning team. That would definitely help fantasy wise, but he's so young. He's going to hit free agency again soon, and he can go to any team he wants later on. But for now, it's like, just trade him to whatever team is going to give you the best return for him.
Yeah, maybe that's what the Dodgers didn't pull the trigger in Soto. Because think about it, if you're going to give the same amount of players for Soto, you might as well just do it for a pitcher and hitter.
Yeah.
And Ohtani in the offseason. I know we're trying to win a World Series and they're trying to get it all the way, but you already got my point at the beginning of the show that it's great for baseball for a small market team like the Padres to take Soto because it's great for baseball. It's going to grow the game. And, like that's what this is all about. We're trying to help grow the game with our little podcast here and fantasy and try to get you to win. If you're out there, I know we have 7 viewers. If you're out there and you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe or hit that like button. If you like what you see, if you don't like what you see, put it on here and I'll put it on the board like the White Sox say. So we'll answer your question. I know Tony's been like blowing this thing up and he was supposed to get on. What happened, Tony? You're over there making me look bad over here. Anything else, Will, before we log off? I know there's tons of baseball going on. I know after the All-Star game, we were supposed to get on, and Will said it at the beginning of the show. It's just, it's kind of hard to do it because we either take vacation, and he's in the East Coast, where I'm in the West Coast, and the times sometimes doesn't help us. But then we try our best to try to do it whenever we can. We're trying to do it every Friday, and we kind of fell off a little bit the last month. I was dealing with some things, and Will was dealing with some things too. So we have Tony, and we have Xavi too, and he's been working a lot. And so it's kind of hard for us to jump on every Friday, but we're gonna try our best to do it, even if we don't jump on. Will always says we have an email on there, so I'll let you take it from here, Will, and so they can ask those questions.
Yeah, so if you guys have any questions or you just want to, chat a little bit or whatever, we're always available. You can the easiest way to reach us is on our Instagram page, Real Talk Baseball. You can message us on there. I'm usually pretty good about getting back to everyone pretty quick. I get questions almost on a daily basis about trades and pickups and random stuff. So you can message us on there. Real Talk Baseball at yahoo.com is our email. You can also, I have that link to my phone, so I'm pretty quick about replying on there also. Carlos runs our TikTok page, so follow us on TikTok, Real Talk Baseball, and that page is growing like crazy right now. So many people on TikTok, and Carlos posts some good content. And then we also have our Facebook page, so you can basically search Real Talk Baseball on any format other than Twitter, because we don't really go on there too often.
No.
Maybe one day, right? Someone needs to help us take over. Hint, hint, Tony.
Tony, what's going on, man? He's like, what? I had something to say. Damn, I just forgot because I started talking about Tony, man. It sucks. I'll remember as if we keep going with the show. But I know there's a lot of baseball to talk about. If it's not even fantasy wise, like I can answer all those questions. I know there's a lot of history that I have in my head that doesn't escape there. For some reason, it just locks in there and it stays there. So if you have something that happened back then and you want to talk about it, I'm down to do that. I can talk baseball all day, every day. I wish we this was our job, man. This was like something
Yeah.
that we did like on a daily basis because it's just fun talking baseball.
You know what? You know what's crazy is someone pointed out to me the other day. I'm a very quiet person,
Uh-huh.
whether I'm at work or wherever I'm at. I don't talk to people unless there's legit something to talk about.
Yeah.
But one thing that I do at work, if I see someone with a baseball hat on, I ask them like, "Oh, are you a Mets fan or you a Marlins fan?"
Yeah.
And that it starts a conversation. If they say yes, then I start talking about a random player that's on their team that's doing really good and just start chatting them up, and then I bring up the podcast and give them our name and tell them to subscribe and listen and someone pointed out to me the other day, it was like, you don't talk to anybody unless they're wearing like something baseball, either a hat or a shirt or a jersey. And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, what else do I have to talk about? I don't care about their cats, you know.
Yeah. Or dogs or whatever, you
Or
know.
yeah, exactly. I don't care that your kid is doing amazing in college. I don't know you like that. But if you want to talk about baseball, I'm all there.
Yeah, hit me up. Oh, I know I was going to talk. The last time we were on the show, we were talking about playing softball and playing baseball. Well, I have two dingers, man. I hit 2 home runs this season so far, and it's our
Over the
game
fence.
over the fence. Yeah,
Oh shit.
yeah, got lucky, I guess. I don't know. But I got two dingers so far, and not feeling great yet to where I used to be playing baseball. But I am gonna get there once my body gets used to playing every Sunday. I don't know. You said your knee or your calf. What was it that you messed up? Is it
Yeah,
better?
I'm feeling pretty good now. I'd say I'm pretty close to 100%. I had a calf tear on my very first game. It was a grade 2 calf tear. I The doctors said treat it like it's a leg break, like it's a bone break. So
Oh,
I basically had to keep my leg elevated. I couldn't put any pressure on it. It was like that for 3 weeks, and that's when Javi and I had gone to our timeshare in Virginia,
having
and
fun.
we were walking around a lot, and dude, my leg was so swollen like the whole time I was there. Just feeling like the back of my calf with my fingertips, I could feel like my skin was just stretched tight.
Oh, that
But,
sucks.
now I'm touching it. It feels normal. It feels exactly like the left one. We actually just had our last game this past Wednesday, and it was the first time that I didn't need a runner when I got on base. So in slow
How do
pitch
you do
softball,
it? Do you get on base? And you're like runner.
yeah, exactly.
That's funny, dude.
Yeah, so in slow pitch softball, if because a lot of older guys play the game and they know that guys still want to play, but they can't run the bases like they used to. And
Yeah,
for a little while, I was that old guy that couldn't run the bases for a little while because of my injury. So, but this last game, I got on a couple times and I ran for myself, and I felt good. So,
good.
yeah, I'm going to start again. In the fall season. Our fall season actually starts in 3 weeks. So, um,
That's
got
good.
I got to get my ass out there, man. I'm not getting any younger. I'm getting rounder, that's for sure. And I need to get my ass in shape. And softball is my motivation to start getting on the treadmill and start working out
Pushing
and
yourself.
going outside. I have a tee. I have a net, so there's really no excuse. I have a half-acre backyard, so I really don't have any excuse why I can't be out there on a daily basis. I get off of work so early. I'm done at work at 12:30 in the afternoon. So other than sleeping, I don't really have that much to do other than take care of my 6-year-old. But when school starts, he's going to be in school until about 3 o'clock, and then get dropped off around 3:30. That was one of the biggest changes that I noticed when I came to Pennsylvania, is all the kids take the bus over here.
Nice.
It was very different for me. And when I tell people, like, no one takes the bus in California, they were like, well, how do the kids get to school? And I'm like, their parents take them every single day, or
Yeah.
they work it out with someone else that goes to the school, and kids carpool, and that's how people do it. And they thought that we were weird for kids not taking the bus, and I'm like, you guys are weird. You trust your kids to go on a bus with some strangers?
No, we are weird. We're
We
weird
are
here in
weird.
Cal. Yeah,
Well,
we are weird.
yeah, you're weird. I'm not
Yeah.
weird anymore.
No, I'm super nerd. I'm a super nerd out here. Yeah, I get you, man. I understand what you're saying. Like, get back in shape and doing these things, because I know in baseball, when we play on Sundays, there's kids playing there, and it's like, wow, I need to keep up with these guys.
Yeah.
So I just have to act like a veteran and
You're
play like a
38,
veteran.
right?
38.
Yeah,
Act like
I'm
a veteran, play like a
39.
veteran.
So it's
It's a little different than what it
different.
used to be. I know for sure that now it's like it's having fun and being with the friends out there, but at the same time being able to compete, because I
Yeah.
love the game of baseball, and I say I'm not gonna dive, and there I go diving, and I say
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
see,
swing hard,
that's
and there I
why
go
I
swinging
tore my
hard.
calf
So it's
muscle,
like,
man. It's our competitive nature.
yeah,
There's no way of getting around it. Like, even when I reached base and I ran for myself, I was on my way to second base, and my my legs aren't as fast as they used to be.
but your
My
brain thinks it's fast, right?
my brain thinks it's faster, so I'm like leaning forward as like my legs are still like behind me, and I almost stumbled a little bit.
Oh dang. No, I had a oblique strain, and that's because I pitched. I pitched 3 innings, and I thought I did pretty well. It's just um, I didn't. I guess muscles that I haven't used in a while too, so
Yeah.
that doesn't help.
Don't
But
pull
yeah,
a cinder guard, man.
nah, nah, nah. I don't throw 90. I probably throw. I don't know. I don't know how hard I throw. I probably
70.
throw like I don't think 70, maybe 60s. I don't know. I have no idea. I feel like I throw hard, but like you said, your head is playing my tricks on you.
Yeah.
You think you're doing better than what you look. So I
We
probably
don't
look
work
like
out the way we used to. We don't prepare the way
oh
that we
no,
used
no.
to. Life got in the way, like you have your kids and
Damn
your
you,
job.
life.
I know. Life.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll keep you updated at the end of the shows every time. I think that's a good idea. That way, we won't be embarrassed. Will so to say this, we'll be like, yeah, we're doing it. We're hitting bombs. We're hitting like we used to, and we're fielding. The one
Yeah,
thing though, I would say my fielding is still there.
that's good.
I'm
That's
still
the
happy
muscle
about that.
memory.
I think so. Like I said, I dove for a ball. I caught it. I just didn't get up on time because I thought he was running hard. If I would have got up on time, I think I would have got him. But it looked so slow, man. I dove, and in my mind, I'm like looking at myself. I'm like, God damn, look at this old man diving for a ball. Like, really? Like, what are you doing? It's not even real baseball. It's Sunday league. But it's just
Fun.
like it just happens. It just happens, and I know it's gonna continue to happen unless I stop playing. Then I won't do it anymore. Anything else, Will, before we log off? Because we already went over the time, but it was fun getting back on. I miss getting on. Let's try to do it more often. If we can't do it often, at least try to do 15 minutes with our little recap, because we do need to get out there. And like I said, the TikTok, I was on live and there was like 300 people on there right now. So that's pretty cool. I know we're trying to get the Facebook, Instagram, and everything going. So we'll just try to do our best to try to get on, and we should try to commit to that.
Yeah.
And at least
Next
15
week, I'm
minutes.
I'm good for Friday.
Yeah, we can do it, and then we'll try to get
And
Javi
then
and Tony going too.
the following week, I won't be able to get on. Actually, the following 2 weeks. Next week, I start at 2 o'clock in the morning. We have our inventory.
Sounds
So
fun.
that kind of sucks. But and then the following week we'll be in Mexico.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah. All right. And your last takes, man.
um
Yeah.
hey, It's hard right now because going towards the end of the season, there's not really a lot out there. Just same thing that we say all the time. Just if you're streaming pitchers, just go after the good matchups. Look for guys that have high strikeout totals. Usually those are the guys that limit the most amount of runs. Yeah, that's it.
Oh man, I thought you were gonna say, well, if there's a lot of ILs on your freaking roster, hold on to them, because if you drop them, someone else is gonna pick them up, and guess what? They're gonna pitch against you, and you're gonna lose that spot. That you're gonna lose that player, and you're gonna lose that game. So playoffs is important. I always lose sight of playoffs because I start getting distracted for some reason. I don't think this year I will, but I do have a lot of players on my IL right now.
This year, I changed our playoffs to end a little bit early, so that way it's before fantasy football starts. Because I know a lot of guys that play fantasy baseball also play fantasy football, and I didn't want them to, coincide with each other. So our playoffs actually start in a week and a half, rather than a lot of other leagues that don't start for another like 5 weeks.
You know what's crazy? I've never won the baseball one, and I've won a football one. That freaking sucks. I'm not even like, I'm into football, but not like, like macho really into it,
So I've played in 2 fantasy football leagues, and I won them both.
Exactly. See?
You know what's crazy? I can't name more than like 5 NFL players.
No, I'm pretty sure you can.
Off the top of my head, okay, maybe 10. I can name 10.
That sounds better. Yeah, I can name probably like
10's not even a full team.
It's not, but at least you can name them, and if you won 2 leagues already, then you're good.
Yeah, I know how to play fantasy. I look for upside. I look for I listen to podcasts. I look at rookies, that I know that could take over potentially if there's an injury, and I pay attention. And when it comes to fantasy, you have to pay attention. Fantasy football, you have to pay attention,
on a weekly basis.
On a weekly basis. But for fantasy baseball, you have to pay attention from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a little bit rougher. Well, I just got to say that the IL spot, I already said it. Keep those players. Don't drop them. I know you probably don't have roster place for them. Keep the best ones. And if they're 10 day IL, depending on how many days there are, you're not going to keep a 60 IL player on there. Like, get rid of them. You don't need them because there's not even 60 games left anymore. I believe they're in the 50s already. So, it makes no sense. But try to keep them and wait.
And if someone did drop an IL player and you have
keep your eye
spot
open
for them, make sure you add them right away.
Keep your eye open for
Flaherty, Walker Buehler, Dustin May, guys like that potentially could be returning for your playoff run. It could be a game changer for you. Maybe not, but who cares? Because you're not wasting a roster spot. As long as you have the IL slot, why not?
All right, cool, man. Well, it was a good show, Will. Thanks for coming in. We did it, I guess. I'm Carlos Baseball. This is Will Power, Real Talk Baseball. Signing out.
See you guys.